All you lovely people. We should be live, it seems that way. And so, full moon in Aquarius, this is going to be the topic today. And now, if you saw the thumbnail and you paid attention to what it is on the thumbnail as a tarot cards, you can see there the collective reading for the transit itself. That is something that it concerns literally all of us. And I have those cards in front of us, and when I saw them, truth be told, it kind of like said to my first thing I said to myself was, well, that is for a change at least. I mean, we are off to a ride, and it's gonna be, at least according to these cards, it should be a good ride. Okay, so the first card from the collective reading is the Fool card, followed by the second card for the collective reading, which is the King of Swords. Then we do have the third card of the collective reading, and that is going to be the Hermit. Moving on next, we do have the Aquarius itself, and that is the Star card. And the final card of the collective reading, this is going to be the Seven of Swords. So the first thing, I want to draw one additional card, which I'm going to do right now. For the King of Swords, and the card is the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so the King of Swords here is pretty much catalyzed with the Page of Pentacles. We do have a active enemies into that position as a elemental dignities, so that immediately tells us what kind of people we should avoid throughout this full moon into Aquarius. And the kind of people that we should avoid are people who are acting, working, and behaving on top of that only of their best interest. Now, it's very easy to spot such kind of people. They usually change their opinion very frequently. Now, as soon as they see, how can I put it into words, let's say uncomfortable circumstances to themselves, even slightly, they do change opinion, they do change sides, and that should be a telltale sign that we just can't trust those kind of people. Not just only that, but we do not need those kind of people into our environment. Hello, Shanna. Welcome to the stream. So what is that full moon all about? Well, according to the Fool card here into the collective reading itself, it pretty much speaks that there will be some kind of an opening. There will be some kind of a, I don't know, I mean, the Fool, it's a new beginning, but it could manifest in many different ways. It could be a new idea that we are gonna have, or a new introduction, or why not a job offer, right? Some kind of a beginning, which we do have a chance to decide, do we want to take it on or do we not want to take it on. Now, because Taro is not designed to make choices for us, it comes down to what we do find substantial, and that is literally the most important thing of this full moon. If not anything else, we are to discover, learn, find out, have an insight even upon of what is important and what is essential for us. Are the money important? Is the love important? Because sometimes they are going to be, for example, incompatible. And once we do realize what is important and substantial for us within the next couple of days, that is for the time being, of course, then this is going to mark also a beginning, which we are literally going to take on that important direction, going to start manifesting and working out. Now, if you are looking for a guidance according to the collective reading, and you don't know what to do about your situation, right? Best thing you can do is just withdraw for a moment, like a couple of days, maybe half a week even. That is because under the Hermit, it's very important that one, withdraws themselves from the ideas of the world and as well ideas of others, so one can examine their own ideas. I mean, yeah, you may be successful, for example, at work, but you may not feel satisfied. Why? Well, it is because you're working something you have been, for example, told that it is good to work and to do. What about what you want, right? So it's a great time. This full moon is a great time to examine what is important for us personally and start chasing it, because that is also a lesson that we need to learn. Now, we do have the Star card as a lesson, okay? And this is when we have to learn to be true to our standards, our ideals as well, and the sacred. Well, that kind of sounds a little bit how can I put it into words? Profound, all right? But the sacred wishes of our nature, you know, of our personality, and it's very important to ask ourselves, what do we want to become, right? What do we really want as a family? What kind of a family do we want? For example, what kind of a job? Do we want a job that we make bunch of money, but instead of we working the job, actually the job is working us, right? Do we want a freedom, and can we pay the price for freedom? That is not having a stable income, for example. It is very important that we need to answer those questions, because at the end of the day, there is a big philosophy in tarot, guys, and that is that we just can't have it all, right? We have to settle for something, maybe for a compromise. Maybe we can decide for the one tip of the scale, you know, one side of the coin, for as long as we are willing to pay the price. And this is exactly where this examination of our standards and our ideals, what love means for us, right? What our job means for us, or a job in general means for us. And once we do so, then if we are feeling stuck within our life, because I know I feel stuck, for example. But in any case, if we are feeling stuck in our lives, we are going to know what direction we can stir that damn life, right? We definitely going to know how to stir that damn life. Because at the end of the day, for the energies which are supporting us here, we do have the Seven of Swords, and that is a one of the best energy card that one can have in these situations, because literally what it says is that when we wish something, okay, we identify that as something important in that direction, in that particular narrative. Whatever we say goes, and those energies that are supporting us are gonna help us to pretty much exert, or if you prefer to say, establish our own agenda. Now, we don't have to follow someone else's goal. We don't have to fight someone else's battles. We are going to realize that we do have enough of a war on our plate to handle someone else's one. So yeah, it may be a little bit of a selfish transit, selfish full moon, so to speak. And if the full moon is a completion, consider it as a you being done with pretty much satisfying anybody else but yourself. It's, yes, it is a completion in that regard, and in the same time it is a beginning where we are now turning out and saying, wait a minute, you know, what about me, right? What about what is important for me, and what is essential? Who is going to provide that if not myself? And that is how the change is going to start happening. So that is literally the collective reading. It's kind of a spiritual one, but again, very important, guys. It's very, very important that we do avoid people who care and think only about what use we do have for them. Okay, that is very important. So like I said, this is the collective, and now I'm gonna move to the bulk of the live stream, which is going to be the reading for the 12 star signs. Mind you, there are also going to be a 3 giveaways as a readings. So 3 of you guys are gonna get a free reading within that live stream. That is the only way you get a free reading with me. And in order to do that, in order to qualify, so to speak, for a free reading, all you gotta do is just wait for one of the breaks which I'm going to announce. By the way, spoilers alert here. One is going to be after Cancer, another one after Scorpio, and the final one is going to be after a Pisces. So another thing is that if you do want a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website, which you can find in the description down below, and there on the very front page you will see full list of my services and as well their pricing. So based on your budget and as well your needs, you can pretty much pick whichever one suits you best. And finally, if you do decide to support the channel and the stream through super chat, you guys are gonna get a reading at the end of the stream that's given. You help me, I help you. That is how it works, at least with me. And should your super chat be of a $20 or above, you're gonna get that very same 5-card reading, which I'm gonna do for every star sign, and as well I did for the collective as well. Right, so by the way, as I said, super chats, if Ginger is watching now, I forgot you last time, so I have you in the list right now. I mean, the list is starting right away with you, all right? So you're gonna have reading at the end if you are watching, Ginger. Oh, it's just a little bit of a misunderstanding happened, which I do apologize for. So, starting up with the first star sign, which is going to be Aries. I'm trying my best here, guys, to help you keep track with the star signs, which you can pretty much see here. Okay, this is where the star sign is going to be displayed. So first one, that is Aries. Now the first card for Aries, this is going to be the High Priestess, followed by the second card of the Page of Wands. Moving on next, what we do have, that is going to be the Aeon. And the fourth one, we do have Five of Swords. And the final one for you, Aries, we do have Two of Pentacles. So a little bit of a lonely existence in front of you guys. It seems that you're gonna find it in the next couple of weeks. By the way, let me tell you how long exactly is the time frame of that reading. Hold on a sec. Hold on a second. So up until the 27th of August. So give or take. Well, it's a little bit longer than a couple of weeks. Let's say a couple of weeks and a half. But in any case, Aries is a little bit of a lonely existence for you guys, because in the next couple of weeks, you are gonna find it a little bit difficult to trust people in general. It's the problem isn't going to be that there are gonna be no people around you, like in work or like in a social circle. The problem is gonna be you seeing those people and saying, "Oh my God, I mean, this one can kind of like." You know, spill out a secret that I'm going to share with them, or burn me whenever they got the chance, right? So that's why you may feel more close or closed up than a usual. And I know from a personal experience that when that happened to people who are very forthcoming, right, when they're very socializing, so to speak, or very social people, they start thinking that there is something wrong with them. Well, I can tell you that there isn't anything wrong with you here, for at least according to these cards. What the process is taking place in the next couple of weeks, it is that your examination is going to be over your how can I put it into words? The examination that you're going to put is going to be over your let's say plans, let's say stereotypes, let's say beliefs and convictions, and you are going to start seeing that there are some of them, not all of them, but some of them are kind of outdated. For example, especially that is true for people, you are still being played by people that you shouldn't. I mean, you had so many lessons from such kind of a people, and you shouldn't over trust them any longer. And I can tell you from these cards what kind of a people exactly. Page of Wands are type of people who are they're very playful and enterprising. I mean, when you are in their company, it's always fun, all right? They always have something new to present there. They always have something to say in a conversation, and etc., etc. Now, their problem, though, it is that they're very touchy, and as well, in some cases, that is a vindictive. Right, they're very touchy because they are very fragile from within, and you may say something you really mean, right? And for you may not be a big deal, but for them it's gonna be. And they're not gonna show it though, so you ain't gonna know if you said something wrong or did something wrong, and so on and so forth. What happens next, it is the first chance they have to humiliate you, for example, basically to even the score or even the playing field, whatever you want to say it, in their minds, according to their self-righteousness, they are going to do it. And that is going to be a big sign, once again, that you shouldn't over trust people. So pretty much in the spiritual stage, that is literally what is happening here, according to these tarot cards. Now in the material stage, nothing really much is moving, at least according to these cards. Your job is going to be still your job, all right? Your relationship is going to be just the same, for example, or the way you interact with people. So in the material aspect, you can pretty much expect no movement. Things are going to be as they are, at least according to these cards. One more time, with exception, okay, of what kind of a people you select as your friends. And that is pretty much how things are going to play out for Aries, at least according to my cards. And the next one that we do have, that is going to be Taurus. Right, so first one for Taurus, that is going to be the Ace of Wands, followed by the next one, which stands as Temperance. Moving on next, we do have the Ace of Cups. It seems that you are going to be really well suited and situated in the next 2.5 weeks, Taurus. Fourth one, we do have the Two of Swords, and the final one, that is going to be the Chariot. I mean, it's going to be really, really good couple of weeks for you, because it seems that maybe just around the corner or a little bit along down the road, there is a quite of a gaining for opportunity, enterprise, you name it, that is waiting for you. Literally, that is the topic of your full moon in Aquarius, and you are gonna freaking love it. I mean, when it happens, let me give you an idea how it plays out, right? So when it happens, you have certain concerns about your well-being, about your livelihood and whatnot. And what that enterprise pops up, it appears, first of all, it's going to feel a bit strange, and you may even ask yourself, why me, right? Well, why this is kind of presented to me, what I did to deserve it. Oh, believe me, you did something to deserve it. So don't ask that question. You may not want to know the answer. But in any case, when it happens, those concerns of yours, they're either going to completely disappear or they will become irrelevant. I mean, they ain't going to matter anymore at all. And pretty much you are gonna look forward for tomorrow and see how things are developing. So especially this is very benign for people who are for example in depression, or they are feeling really low in energy and in spirit, because it seems that this enterprise is gonna make your life all of a sudden, or a slowly progressively here, worth living again. I mean, it could be that you may fall in love with someone, which is a new enterprise the way you see it. But again, it's going to be unlike anything you have experienced up until now. I mean, it could be something similar but not alike in any case. And it's a weird lesson that you are gonna learn, Taurus, for the next couple of weeks, or what this full moon has to present to you. But it's a weird lesson, because it seems that you may regret certain choices you made back in the days, or choices you haven't made back in the days. Well, in the next couple of weeks, you are gonna learn to be grateful that you either make those choices or you didn't, because they brought you here, and now the righteousness of this either action or inaction, whichever your case is, it's going to become very obvious to you. So literally what plays out here is that sometimes we lose and we consider it a loss, but actually we are oblivious at that time of what we are gaining, and now you Taurus are going to realize what you are actually gaining. And from the whole thing, at least for the next 2.5 weeks, you are going to be, or end up, at least at the end, quite proud of yourself. And also you are going to consider, to a certain extent, that the appearance of that enterprise in front of you, which again, it could be you falling in love, new person to date with, new project clients, whatever, right? Some sort of a wish fulfillment. That is how you're going to consider it. Now, the only issue that these cards are showing here that we do have for you, Taurus, it is that you may cling into it too tightly, like, you know, putting all of your chips onto one horse or one basket, and so on and so forth. So you want to be a little bit, how can I put it into words, measured when it comes to how much you are to invest into it. Not because you're gonna lose, but because you may overinvest more than actually that thing can provide for you at the end of the road. And so that is for Taurus. Moving on, next we do have Gemini. Hello, Care. Nice to see you too. All right. For a Gemini, first one, that is going to be the Four of Swords. Moving on, next we do have the King of Pentacles, followed by the Eight of Cups. Afterwards, what we do have for you, that is going to be the Death card. And the final one for you, Gemini, This is going to be the Wheel of Fortune. So pretty big advice from the cards. It is that don't borrow anything. Okay, don't borrow anything. Don't take any loans in the next couple of weeks. Don't allow to become dependent of someone. Hell, for all I care, if I were Gemini, even someone kind of like, and I was a woman, because it's a very uncommon woman to make a present of flowers to a man. But in any case, if I was a woman seeing those cards and I am a Gemini, and a man out of nowhere, you know, someone that we are just know each other or we're friends, kind of like give me a flower, I will immediately know, oh my god, I want something. Okay, so you gotta understand that in the next couple of weeks, people are not gonna give you anything of the goodness of their heart. They are gonna expect something in return. You may know it, you may not know it, but just if you are to accept charity, that I ain't charity, but in any case, you will see it almost that way when it happens. Just have one in the back of your head that you will have to pay for that. Maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe in a month, maybe in a year, but you are gonna broke even on it. Okay, this ain't charity, no matter what anyone offers you in the next couple of weeks. So aside from that, your experience is going to be pretty pleasant, especially for those of you Geminis who are buried under a mountain of troubles. Those troubles, it seems that they are going to disappear. They're not going to be solved by any means, but they will stop bothering you at least for the next 2.5 weeks. So how you can use the time? Well, the best way is to obviously to solve those problems, but you may ask how. Well, it seems that as the universe is gonna kind of like loose up the pressure of the troubles you are standing in front, also going to provide you with the professional means to solve with them. For example, you may have a pretty serious legal issue with someone and you don't know what to do about it, but that person goes somewhere on a vacation so they don't bother you for the next 2.5 weeks, and out of nowhere you get introduced to a pretty good lawyer who, go figure, specialize with your problem. And there you go, you have the means, the problem isn't there, so you can form a strategy, you can get ahead of the problems. That is literally the reason of that full moon into Aquarius, you to get ahead instead of being on the second gear, constantly trying to catch up with what is going on around you. And this is going to be for a big change. And the lesson that you are going to learn, Gemini, it's actually a kind of like a say, it's a parable. I'll try to tell it to you, so hopefully you do kind of like get what I am trying to convey here. But an old man saw a young man who was begging, kind of like a beggar who was really young, fit man. And the old man asked him, why are you doing that? You know, you are fit, you are strong, you are young, you can work, right? And the young man said, well, you know, it's a crisis right now, so my business kind of bankrupt, and my wife left me, divorced me, and she took literally everything. She literally milked me for all I got, so I have no choice, but right now I have to beg for my meal. And the old man said, you know what, son, yeah, times are tough, but it's not gonna be always that way, right? And about a year and a half later, further down the road into the future, the old man saw the young man, the young man again. But this time around, the young man was really nice clothes, driving a really expensive car, and in the car, really beautiful woman. And the old man said to the young man, I told you that ain't gonna be like this always. So I'm telling you again, they ain't gonna be always like this. And that is literally your lesson, Gemini. That, you know, you may find yourself down in the dumps, right? You may be in the rock bottom, although when bottom, the bottom doesn't have a bottom, or the hole doesn't have a bottom. When things are going bad, there is no bottom to it. But in any case, you know, when you are in the rock bottom, things ain't gonna be always like that. And when you are on the rock bottom, the only thing you can do is just improve. But when you do improve, don't take it for granted. That is literally your lesson here, because you are about to improve. You're about to start improving, whether you are facing love issues or financial issues or career issues, and the universe is gonna take care of you. We do have the Wheel of Fortune here as the energies, and literally, even if you are facing a wall, like, you know, a dead end, the universe is going to bring down that wall for you. So all the means are going to be presented to you on a platter. Just don't bury yourself and get yourself indebted to someone that you do not need to get yourself indebted to. That is your reading. Hello, Tracy. Yeah, nasty thing, eh? The COVID and all that. All right, so next one, that is going to be Cancer. Well, all sickness sucks. I can't figure out a sickness that doesn't suck. You're welcome, Selena. Hey, Anna. Welcome to the stream. Right, so Cancer, first one, that is going to be the Eight of Wands. Followed up next with the Queen of Wands. Moving on, we do have the Moon card. Afterwards, that is going to be the Seven of Wands. And the final one for you, Cancer, that will be the Nine of Cups. So we do have these 5 cards, and it does look like that you do have a specific path to follow. Pretty obvious, by the way. The problem that you may face in the next couple of weeks, that there are going to be people who will try to tell you how to do stuff around. Not exactly what to do, but how to do stuff around. It's like people thinking that they know better. They know better what is better for you. They know better what you are capable of, for example. And God forbid, they know better what you do deserve. Right? So that is the type of people you gotta guard yourself from. That is the type of people who you would want to avoid for the next 2.5 weeks. Now, under normal circumstances, they are type of people who can truly point you into the right direction. The problem here is that you already are on the right direction, for what it seems, or at least that is what those cards are showing here. And by the way, the worse you feel, the bigger the reward is going to be at the end. So it's going to be very, very normal in the next couple of weeks, Cancer, that you may feel uncertain, insecure. Is like your mood changes, you know, 2 hours you're happy, then you do want to cry, and so on and so forth. And that is a clear indication, at least according to these cards here, that pretty much you are on the right track. So your environment is going to be very dynamic in the next 2.5 weeks. There are going to be constantly things moving around, one activity after another, and you do get to choose which one you want to participate into. The only advice I can give you here is just don't try to bite bigger piece than you can chew up and swallow down. And finally, what you are to learn, it is that when you have something, no matter how insignificant it may look like to you, it's something that you should fight for tooth and nail. And I do believe that these cards are referring to the right track, so to speak. So don't have any doubts about yourself. That is very important for the next 2.5 weeks, Cancer. Don't have any doubts, especially if you recently made a choice or you have an affinity, okay, that you may think it's inappropriate and so on and so forth. It is appropriate for you. Don't allow anybody to tell you anything else around. Other than that, it seems that the universe is bound to make you happy, or at least that is its or her plan. Here with these 9 of Wands into the last position, which are the energies that are to support you for the next 2.5 weeks, seems that anything you touch, anything you involve yourself with or participate, is going to give you pleasure, and you are going to experience that fullness of life and sensual joy, and that unfortunately is going to mask those people who want to alter your direction. Anna, thank you so much for your 20 US dollars support. Thank you, Anna. Make sure that you do stick around up until the end of the live stream, where you are gonna get a personalized reading for the full moon in Aquarius. And it's going to be that five card spread. So we are entering into the first break right now, guys, and within that break, one of you can get a free reading from me. All you gotta do is just input a question into the comments down below, a question that you want me to read about with a tarot. And in about 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one of your questions and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question, should there are any. If there aren't any questions, I'm just going to move on to the next 4 star signs. Oh, just to say something, Anna, considering that in many cases that thing goes asymptomatic, meaning that you don't have any symptoms whatsoever. For all we know, we could have it 10 times, 20 times, God knows how many times we may have it. We are on a break, yes. Well, I had at least for a couple of times, I'm certain of it. I may have it more times than couple, who knows? But for a couple of times, I am certain of it. Yeah, the immunity is only rock solid against bacteria. Viruses, they always changes, they mutate. So you may have an affinity or rather like immunity to one strain, but in a couple of months the strain is now a bit different. So your immunity, not completely, but I believe it goes out of the window. And of course you're gonna have it in a weaker version, right? I mean, um, it's gonna go much easier on you than if you have no immunity at all, but it doesn't actually 100% shields you. That is for what I know. I'm not a doctor though, so take it with a grain of salt. All right. Should I move from California to Mexico? Tracy still asks. Let's check it out, Tracy. Those are your cards, Tracy. Eight of Pentacles with the Sun from one side and Three of Wands from the other, and Ten of Wands, I'm sorry, from the other. It's so, truth be told, according to these cards at least, what you are hoping to accomplish in New Mexico, you can definitely accomplish in California as well. Problem going into, not New Mexico, but Mexico, I'm sorry. So it's Mexico, it's the country. Problem going into Mexico, at least according to these cards, it is that you ain't gonna be as happy as you may expect it to be. That is one thing. There will be some gibberishes with your plans as well, kind of like shuffling, so to speak. So you ain't gonna be able to accomplish everything you are going there for, at least at the start, that is. Not to mention there are going to be some how can I put it into words, inconsistencies with what you have been promised. Okay, so if you do decide to go to Mexico, just and move to Mexico, don't keep your hopes high that everything you have been promised, whatever that is going to be accomplished. You will have to do some heavy lifting going there. So I wouldn't, if I'm you and I am settled in California, well, I wouldn't risk it. Well, guys, couple of minutes and then I'm moving to the next 4 star signs. Hmm. Well, ginger viruses, they're fought with antibiotics. Antibiotics are for bacteria. That's what I know, at least. Well, Marilyn, I don't know. If the job offer gives you better conditions than what you are currently doing, and especially if you are jobless, what is there for you to lose taking on that job offer? Of course you should. Oh, antibodies. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm sorry, I misread. Antibodies, yeah, they do help. All right. On to next one, which is Leo. Hey, Mattia, thank you so much for your 19.99, or should I say $20. Thank you, Mattia. Make sure that you do stick around up until the end of the stream, where you're gonna get your personalized reading for the full moon in Aquarius. Hey, Ella, welcome to the stream as well. How are you doing, by the way, Ella? Are things okay with you and your situation? Not good? Oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that. All right, for Leo, first one, the Star card, followed by the second, which is the Five of Pentacles. Moving on next, that is going to be the Three of Swords. So you do have a pretty big thing to swallow down, for what it seems, Leo. It is, unfortunately, it is life, and life doesn't show mercy on anyone, does it? I'm gonna say something that, and then I'm gonna continue with the reading. What I don't have by all means a big experience with life. After all, I'm about to turn 37. Okay, so I can't say that I lived long enough. But what I understood, I think that applies to everything in life. It is that tomorrow is promised to no one. Okay, today you may wake up and you may be on the top of the world, but tomorrow, just like that, with a snap of your fingers, everything may be gone. So it's what I learned, it is that we have to count our blessings constantly and be grateful for what we have, because there are people who doesn't have nearly as much as we do. Okay. So the final one for is that the final one? Hold on a second. Yeah, the final one for Leo, that is going to be the Nine of Wands. Okay, so those are your 5 cards, Leo. In the Star card, the Five of Pentacles, Three of Swords, Temperance, and then finally we do have the Nine of Wands. Most likely now this next couple of weeks are going to refer to some kind of a let's put it that way, disagreement that you do have with someone. Could be with your kid or with a family member, or maybe with your person of interest, could be as well colleague, right? So disagreement, and what your job is going to be, Leo, is to fathom down that, you know, the other person may have different opinion, they may even have different ways dealing with stuff, right? But it is their way, and you may not agree with their way, but you gotta respect it. And by the way, that should be something that you should demand for yourself and for your side of the matter as well. But the universe in the next 2.5 weeks definitely is going to introduce you with a person who shares your side. They literally share your view of things. That's in general. This is going to give you a huge hope, right? This is going to give you the drive to dare to dream that things are going to be better, right? That you can finally settle down, for example, or you can finally have a friend, whatever your deficiency here is. Because your deficiency, at least according to these cards, once again, don't shoot the messenger, right? It's caused by your own lifestyle, okay? And you will have a chance to fix that, but you have to recognize it, right? And a big portion of it, like I said, it is you accepting that there are different people, and just because you do not agree with someone, it doesn't make them wrong, okay? It doesn't make them lesser, it makes them different. And once you do make that, once you do accept that, so to speak, there will be a lot of compassion and a lot of solidarity coming up into your life. Other than that, guys, if I have to be painfully specific here, especially for you, Leo, who are single, you're off to fall in love in the next 2.5 weeks. That is going to surprise you very, very much, because whomever you are about to fall in love with or start dating and so on and so forth, it's going to be very reminiscent and close to a experience who is almost similar, okay? So you're going to be reminded of somebody or a relationship that you lost for numerous reasons, and that is going to be freaking scary, okay? Because you will immediately kind of like picture that you may lose this one. This time around, you are better prepared, so to speak. So it's very important to think positively. That's my point here. And above everything else, like I said, into the collective reading that's throughout the next 2.5 weeks, we all, without any exception, will have to examine our ideals and our standards. You will not want to be able to escape that, because according to these cards, the whole environment will demand this, okay? So if you are falling in love in the next 2.5 weeks, you better believe in it, okay? Because it's going to be according to your ideals and according to your standards. Starting a job, same thing, okay? And you have to live up to those ideals and those standards. All right, so that was for Leo. Now moving next, we do have a Virgo. Hello, Danny. All right, first one for Virgo, that is going to be the Ace of Wands, followed up with the Two of Cups. Moving on next, we do have the Knight of Swords. Afterwards, that is going to be the Three of Swords. And the final one, that will be Justice, okay? So these 5 cards here that we do have. And it's actually a reminder that we do have from these cards, and that is that not everyone can keep up, okay? There are, let's say, people into your environment, and by all means you can have any kind of emotional attachment to these people, but guys, you cannot turn a blind eye that these people or some of these people are not slowing you down, okay? And those who are slowing you down, or who are slowing you down, they either gotta go, or either you have to put some healthy boundaries. And this is everything that it is about within the next 2.5 weeks, literally. We do have Two of Cups into the third position, and into the second in this spread, I'm sorry. So the second position is what holds you back, and literally what holds you back is the affection you do have for a specific individuals, and they may deserve your affection, they may not, but the question is how much they do contribute for your well-being. I mean, how much you do lose allowing that affection, so to speak, to impair your judgment, because next 2.5 weeks are gonna call upon your accountable judgment. And when I say accountable, I mean self accountable. You got to be accountable first and foremost towards yourself, and that is, by the way, something that you're going to learn. And by learning it, you're going to see the truth in that there are people slowing you down. You ain't going to like the truth, but that doesn't make it a lie. All right, just on the contrary. So it seems that you are going to cut some, I can't say corners, but you are going to cut off some unhealthy bridges, so to speak, or rather like a burn some unhealthy bridges. Let me look into the cards one more time here. Other than that, next 2.5 weeks for you, Virgo, quite exciting for what I can say. There are going to be many new stuff for you to explore, and I would even say enjoy the guidance of the cards. It is to try and develop a underdeveloped skill of yours. Think it of as a hobby that you had to set aside for, I don't know, reasons, and now you have the time, the energy, and by the way, the resources, but that is only if you are self-accountable, to explore and develop that hobby. Who knows, you may transform it into a business as well. But there are going to be definitely many interesting stuff for you to involve yourself into, and if you allow your emotional affection for a certain individuals to impair your judgment whether you should involve yourself or not, you ain't going to involve yourself into anything, and you're going to miss into so many things. Think it of that way. Think it of that you are making really good impression, really good performance into your social circle, and you are invited everywhere, but you do have that friend that you so much care about, but they are a lousy friend with anybody else but you, and they ain't invited anywhere. So are you going to stop going where you're invited just because a person you feel sorry about is not invited? Right? So that kind of a situations, it is what we do have here. And at some point you just gotta let them go, because otherwise they're gonna be the only friends you have, and you don't want that kind of friends. That was just an example that I'm giving. So you do have a major choice, so to speak, to make, Virgo, and that choice is going to affect how much actually you can benefit in the future. That is within the next 2.5 weeks that you will have to make the choice. It's going to be a tough one, an ugly one, but it's going to be for all of the right reasons. Down in Floor, thank you so much for your $9.99. Thank you. Support. Make sure that you do stick around up until the end of the live stream, where you're gonna get a personalized reading for the full moon into Aquarius. All right, next one, we have Libra. I saw that. Hmm. Angela, you haven't been missing lives because I haven't been making much lives lately. I was recovering. Oh, Angela, I'm getting there. All right. So for Libra, first one, we do have the Five of Pentacles. Moving on next, we do have the Ace of Pentacles, followed by the Knights of Cups. Afterwards, that is going to be the Lovers. And then we do have the Six of Cups. So these 5 cards. One second. I want to ask yourself, guys. I want you to ask yourself, are you in someone else's shadow? Because what those cards are showing here is time to step out of that shadow. So it's a transit where you are gonna put it into words. You are going to identify, so to speak, what is interfering with you feeling harmonious with your surrounding, whether this is because you do have too much chores to do, or whether it is because everybody demands your attention, etc., etc. You know, the reason is going to be pretty much different for every single one of you. But once you do identify what is interfering with you feeling harmonious with your surroundings, there is gonna lie the solution almost to all of your plights. Because that's what this transit is all about. Identify what makes you feel insecure about your job or about your love life, family even, and stick it down right in the throat, right? Or kind of like stab it down right in the throat. So we do have a, kind of put it into words, it's not even a choice, but you could say it's a choice. Are you gonna keep on doing what you have been told that you gotta do, or are you gonna start doing something that you want to do, something that makes you happy? Okay, and you will have that chance to start doing what makes you happy within the next 2.5 weeks. My appeal to you, it is just don't freaking miss it. One thing that kind of like pains me to tell you here, but it looks like that is gonna be at least for next 2.5 weeks, is that if you are hoping for a miracle, it's ain't coming about. Okay, if you are hoping for another chance, a very slight opportunity, and so on and so forth, at least for next 2.5 weeks, it ain't coming your way on its own accord, unless you do not start doing what you love doing, okay, or what you are enjoying doing. Of course, there are restrictions to that. I mean, if you are working for somebody, obviously you got to do what they are telling you to do, but you always can choose how you would do it, and so choose to do it the best way, that, or rather like the most enjoyable way possible, because the universe is not going to leave you hanging for what it seems from these cards. The energies which are going to support you always going to bring you a creative ways for you can accomplish your chores, but it gets better because into your personal level, your social environment, it doesn't look like that you are going to have any incentive whatsoever to deal with people that annoy you and to deal with people that you don't want to deal with. Basically, all the universe is going to attract to you are guys or girls or any kind of people that you would love to communicate with, to go out with, to hang out with, to love with. Okay, so definitely, if you are having a bad time, and again, it pains me to tell you that, but if you are going to have a bad time, it's because you chose to be that way, and you don't have to. Definitely, you don't have to. One other thing about what you are to learn, hopefully not the hard way though, it is that when you love somebody, ask yourself why you love them, and do you love them with all of their differences? Are those differences making them special to you? Or rather, like, are the differences that you both have makes you special for one another? Or do you hope that they are going to change? Because if you do hope that they are going to change, you do not love them, at least according to my cards. Okay, so it's also a transit for you to examine who do you love and how do you love them as well, and also to give that answer to yourself so you can be in tune, you know, with where your heart is literally leading you to. Results, whether in work or whether in your love life, are going to be reciprocal to your efforts. So if you believe that something is granted to you, you better believe that it isn't. And if you think that sitting on your couch is gonna make you being you entering into a relationship because you believe that that had been meant to be, well, you better believe that it isn't, because if you like someone, pick up that goddamn phone and give them a call, right? Because otherwise things ain't gonna happen, at least not for the next 2.5 weeks. All right, so that was for Libra. Next one, we do have Scorpio. That's the best one you can have, Ginger. All right. Well, that's surprising. Scorpio, 10 of Cups. Followed by the 10 of Pentacles. Do you know what this smells on? An addiction. It's literally a recipe for addiction that we do have here. Moving on next, we do have the Sun. At least it's going to be a good addiction, right? That's what I can say. With the King of Swords, And the final one, that is going to be the Five of Cups. And yeah, I mean, we are going to become addicted to something, or it could be as well someone, whatever the case. Think of what do you lack, okay? You may lack money, or you may lack, I don't know, attention. For example, you may lack love as well in your life. Whatever you lack the most, that is exactly where this addiction is going to manifest. Why? Because you ain't gonna lack it anymore. And go figure, you are gonna freaking love it. Okay? So think of it that you are lacking money right now to pay rent, to pay bills, etc. And in the next 2.5 weeks, something ticks in. Okay? Something changes. Now you have a source of making money. Well, you will start getting addicted to that source of making money, or if you will, to the money themselves. Well, yeah, Bree, that was why I was surprised, because I am also very deficient. Okay, I'm also very, very deficient. So I'm pretty curious where this is going to play out for me, but literally it does speaks for addiction. And while this addiction is really going to be a good thing for us, it's going to give us a drive to take in. It's like it's going to give us something to look forward to. We must do our part. We must, how can I put it into words, put an effort to keep it healthy. Because if we make it so our life revolves around it, then we are gonna be kind of lost into that addiction. Not in the next 2.5 weeks, because the universe is protecting us from it with that Five of Cups. Okay, basically, this is a testament that we are not gonna lose our ways into the next 2.5 weeks. But the thing is that this addiction is gonna keep on moving forward for months, maybe for years as well from now on. And we must build up some kind of like restrictions, walls, if you, I don't know how to put it into words here, guys. Yeah, you may get addicted to someone. You may love spending time with that person so much that you can't think of spending even a day without even checking how they are. That is just, for example, you may start getting addicted to your job, God forbid, all right? I mean, I'm sure Pisces Moonbeam would love that for me, right? But you may get addicted to your job and you may not know when to stop. And before you know it, it's going to be all about your job. You will, instead of working to make a good living, you're going to live to make a good working. Is that really a life? That's why there must be some boundaries that we do put into that addiction. Other than that, the addiction is really going to make us happy. It's not a drug addiction by any means, all right? It is something that kind of like makes our life having a meaning one more time, or even a bigger meaning, if you will. That's why I'm surprised, pretty curious how he's going to play out for me. Ella, thank you so much for your $20. Thank you, Ella. Yeah, right. See, I don't need tarot cards to know what you want from me, Pisces Moonbeam. In any case, Ella, all right, you asked that question last time. Hopefully things changed. Make sure that you do stick around up until the end, where I'm gonna read for your question. Give me a moment here. You think it's a person? How do you know that? Yeah, well, that's gonna be a difficult thing, Tracy. Uh, and the Aries. Let's not get started with the list, Pisces movie. All right, so now the second break is taking place, and one of you can get a free reading within that break, guys. All you gotta do is just input a question you want me to read about with tarot cards, and in about 5 minutes I'm going to pick one of your questions if there are any, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. Other than that, if you do want to have a personal reading with me, you can go to my website, which you're going to find in the description down below, and there at the very front page you're going to see a full list of my services and as well their pricing. And finally, if you do decide to support the channel, the stream, and me through super chat, you will get a reading for it at the end of the stream that's given. And if your super chat is $20 or above, you are going to get that very same 5-card spread that I am doing for the star signs, unless you do not have any inquiry. Should you have any inquiry with your super chat, I'm going to pick the best suited spread that is going to answer to your inquiry. Well, it is. You know, it feels like vanilla ice cream. That is something that I get addicted so often, or I am very addicted to it. That's why I don't buy it. Because when I buy a kilo, for those who doesn't know, this is a 2 pounds of weight. Okay, so when I buy a kilo vanilla ice cream, I do not rest until I eat it all, and I want more after that. So I don't buy ice cream because I'm gonna die from ice cream. Taco, mate, welcome to the stream. Yeah, taco in the house. Well, just from a personal experience, Ella, but take it with a grain of salt, all right? That is just a personal experience. Every time when I'm dating a girl and she starts acting weird or different, she's preparing to leave me. I just know it, all right? It's a telltale sign. I mean, you can't miss it. Taco, thank you so much for your 22 US dollars. Thank you, Taco. What's the message of the full moon? You got it, mate. Make sure that you do stick around up until the end, where you're gonna get your reading. I did. That's one of my biggest addictions. The other addiction, so to speak, you can say smoking, but the thing it is that I don't. How can I put it into words? I don't feel the need to smoke. I smoke because I like doing it, not because. Well, probably I'm addicted to it, but not because I have to. Yeah, different, right? But hey, there could be another explanation. Ella, I said that's just my personal experience. But sometimes when people are under a lot of pressure, they start acting differently, right? When they're in a bad mood and so on and so forth. So we're gonna check on why actually he is acting differently. But yeah, I mean, if you being with someone costs you more nerves than it's, or let's put it that way, Ella, and to everyone whom is listening and care to hear my opinion as well, because that's my personal opinion. If being with someone makes you more miserable than happy, it's time to be alone, if you know what I mean. Hello, Lawrence. What do I need to know at this moment about my relationship with him? Amethyst Moon asks. Where are the cards? You're making dinner? Oh my god, I mean, you are the dream man. Your woman should be very pleased. What in the world is that? Latkes? What in the world is this? Hello, Blue Angel. Oh, I'm gonna definitely check this one out. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure there is a analog to it. All right. Amethyst Moon. I was about to say Mystic Moon. Those are your cards for what do you need to know about your relationship with him. Well, what do you need to know? It is that it goes deeper than it may be showing right now. So I don't know what kind of a situation you are in with that person that you are asking about. They definitely care more for that relationship than they are showing that they do care. All right. That by all means should not make you feel like it is in the bag. In fact, what you need to know it is that very soon you will have to make a decision how deep you want to go about that relationship and how big of a commitment you must or you should make into that relationship. About the person itself, according to these cards, Amethyst Moon, it kind of looks genuine. All right. When I say genuine, I mean they are genuine. That person is genuine when they are alone with you. Now, you may observe very strange behavior, strange, so to speak, behavior. That, you know, when you are just only both of you, that person is very sweet and very kind, and it is anything unlike that they are showing when you are in public. And that is because it's how they are, right? That's not gonna change. What I mean is that, for example, if that person loves you, it's highly unlikely that they're gonna show to their friends or tell to their friends or into the world, if you will, how much they do love you. I mean, they show that you mean something to them, but how much actually they're never gonna show that. So if you are hoping that being with that person is gonna get you to a situation where they're gonna parade with that and are gonna show how proud they are, you know, that's not gonna happen. So you just have to accept it for at least what those cards are showing. Other than that, as a potential of what you need to know from that whole thing you do have, it can go as far as your dreams gets you. Just don't get ahead of yourself. So if you are hoping, for example, for family, children, definitely possible, but just don't get ahead of yourself. First thing that must be established in between you two: comfort, trust, reliability. Those three things, right? So work on that. A couple of minutes, guys, and I'm going to move to the last 4 star signs, which are going to be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and finally Pisces. And then super chat time. You're welcome. Self blame, it is the one of the most destructive things that you can do to yourself. But at the end of the day, and it is something I'm never gonna stop repeating, it is that what you do, you gotta do it for the benefit of your own happiness. Okay, so if what you are doing you think it's gonna make you happy, that by itself justifies what you're doing, unless you are not hurting physically another human being or another being in general. Okay, so I mean, if you aren't happy at your job, you shouldn't feel guilty of quitting your job just because your boss needs you. I mean, if they need you so much, I'm sure they can do something to make you happier, don't they? How is life in Bulgaria? Um, well, that depends what kind of a life you like. If you like a free life, what I mean is that you don't overwork yourself unless you decide to do so, okay? And you like a chill life, a lot of political shows, etc. It's a perfect place to be at. I mean, we are probably one of the most politically unstable country or a state in the European Union right now. It's a freaking show. I laugh every single day listening how one political party is pretty much trying to shit on another. So yeah. But other than that, it's a cool place. I love it living here, and I don't think that I want to live anywhere else. Which some of my friends think me that I'm freaking crazy. You know, I had a chance to start living in United K, in Canada, probably United States as well, and I never even considered it. Okay, I never even considered. Well, only for Canada I did for reasons, but other than that, it was never tempting, and almost all of my friends are thinking that I'm crazy. But I love my country. All right. Uh, Moving on next, we do have Sagittarius. That's what all women says, which are in a distance. But actually, I am not that cute in real. But thank you, Amethyst Moon. It seems so cool. Where did you saw something about Bulgaria? You know, recently I had a friend visiting for the first time, and she freaking loved it, and I was kind of like, and what she said it is that that is one of the best places in the world where she were, and she travels a lot. Okay, basically, she lives in the best places in Europe, and it's like, if you say so. I mean, most of the people here, if they can afford living in, for example, Monaco or in Rome, you know, or in Spain, they're gonna change it in a heartbeat, just in a blink of an eye. Oh, you're a travel agent. Seems magical. I mean, yeah, if you consider dark magic a magical, yeah. But the thing is that if you are hoping to have a, so to speak, no, well, that's the thing about Bulgaria, and I'm moving to Sagittarius, guys. We literally have no middle class. What we do, but it's a freaking minority, and minority, it's even over exaggeration. People like me, who are the middle class, very seldom, very rare breed. Here people are either very rich or very poor. Okay, and it's freaking obvious. You go into the public transport, and you see the faces in there, and you see how tormented and how much these people suffer, and then you go out of the public transport and you step into the street, and you see all these lavish cars, you know, and with their shimmering kind of like finishes, and their luxurious clothes and all these kind of stuff. So the classes are, there is a very big gap in between the classes, and it's kind of weird when you see it first time. Well, again, Mystic Moon, or Amethyst Moon. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm calling you Mystic Moon, but uh, camera deceives. Okay, just camera deceives. Yeah, well, we are very alike. All right, enough chatting. Back to Sagittarius. So the first card for Sagittarius, we do have the High Priestess. Moving on next, the second card, that is going to be the Page of Wands. Followed by the third one, which is the Ten of Cups. Afterwards, that is going to be the Queen of Cups. And the final one here, that is, oh my god, that is going to be the Ten of Swords. But the message is very similar to one of the star signs. I believe it was Taurus, where in the material plane, like your job, your social circle, and so on and so forth, there ain't going to be much movement, if any movement at all. So at least if you look at it from the bright side, Sagittarius, I can look at it from the bright side, because I do have, I believe, 4 planets in Sagittarius. But in any case, you can look at it from the bright side, but that at least your job is safe. I mean, you ain't gonna get laid off in the next couple of weeks, or go figure, your partner in life ain't gonna bail on you, right? Uh, Aside from that, on the ethereal plane or on the spiritual plane, you do have a lot of things to handle here. There will be some, I would say, choices that you will have to make, some radical shiftings in front of you, and they're going to be for the better. I don't know how to explain it. It's literally where you determine yourself. Okay, one morning you wake up and you end up being determined to do something or to be in a certain way, but primarily to be in a certain way about a person or about a situation, and so on and so forth. And all that is going to be for the sake, literally, of your happiness, because that's going to be the whole reason. You wake up, you say, I am unhappy talking with that woman or talking with that guy, so I ain't going to talk with him anymore, and you ain't going to feel guilty about it as well. I am unhappy, allowing everyone at work to get advantage of me or to take advantage of me, so I am done helping for no reason whatsoever. That's gonna make you happy. So you can expect a huge improvement in a way how things makes you happy. They're literally going to be the same thing, but those things that doesn't make you happy, you are going to make that radical shift into your standpoint, regarding them, that is about to make you happy. And that is something that you need to learn as well, as far as the next couple of weeks are standing here. That's if you are stuck with something, you better make it worth it. Okay, you better make it a way you would enjoy it and you would love it, because you can. It's all about a sight. It's all about a view. And one more thing for you guys who are single, I really hate saying those things. If you know me long enough and well enough, you know that I don't like to exaggerate like this, but High Priestess being there in such a follow-up, it's a clear sign that one of your soulmates, it's kind of like coming around. Or like I said, Amethyst Moon, if you say so, I ain't gonna argue, right? I ain't gonna argue. Right, so that was for Sagittarius. Now moving next, we do have Capricorn. Well, just soulmates could be your best friend, mind you, right? It doesn't have to be a romantic love. Kind of like, this is such a selling point. I mean, people say soulmate, oh my god, that's your soulmate, and first thing you imagine is how it's gonna be such a ideal, for the lack of better word, love that there is no problems in it and nothing happens. Why? Because it's your soulmate, it's your best friend. Okay, nothing more than that happens, and you end up disappointed. You go back for a reading thinking that you did something wrong, but you haven't, right? And then the reader tells you, no, it's gonna happen, in time. These things take time, right? You can come and check in about a couple of weeks to see how things are going, but it never happens. Anyway, Capricorn. First one, we do have the Six of Pentacles for you guys. Followed by the Page of Cups. Moving on next, we do have the Three of Wands. I can even stop here. I don't need to draw the other two, but for the sake of the reading, Two of Pentacles, fourth one. And the final one, that is going to be the Hangman. Pretty typical. Well, I have a news for you. You got something done well and right, well, you better do it yourself, because no one else is going to be able to satisfy your vision, your needs, above everything else, your patterns. okay, your patterns. But there is also something else troublesome here into those cards, and that is you being blinded by emotional affection. Think it's hello Sean, long time no see. Think of it that way, guys. You are entitled to a thing, whether because it was meant for you, whether because you worked for it, regardless. Just think of it that you are entitled to that thing, and suddenly someone tries to steal it from you by manipulating you emotionally, saying, "Oh, you have so. If I don't get it, I am as good as done," and so on and so forth. Who cares? I mean, you want it, you work for it. Because at the end of the day, things, and that is something I love, things doesn't belong to anyone who they are granted to. Things do belong to those who takes it. And you, Capricorn, if you do want to take it, you gotta work for it next couple of weeks. 2.5 weeks, that is. No one will be able to do your job for you, right? That is something very adamant into these cards. And yeah, I mean, you can definitely ask for help. Help is going to come your way, but that help, it's only going to postpone the things. And you don't want to postpone things beyond those 2.5 weeks, because the energies are not going to be the same afterwards. And the energies which you do have here, the Hangman, that card in that position says that at some point in the next 2.5 weeks, it is time, right? It is time for what you have been waiting for a very, very long time. Now the time had came. You endured, all right? You passed the test, and now the time had come. JT, thank you so much for your $19.99 US. Thank you, JT. Make sure that you do stick around a little bit longer, where you're going to get a personalized reading for the transit. Full moon into Aquarius. Thank you again, JT. So that is literally for a Capricorn. Other than that, guys, smoothness, it is what you can expect. Not much of a predicament and problems into your personal affairs and personal deeds as well. But yeah, a big lesson here for you, it is that the only person you can count on and really depend on, that's yourself, at least for the next 2.5 weeks. Have a great one, Amethyst Moon. Yeah, I'm always forgetting. Thank you, Jasmine, again. All right, next one, Aquarius. First one for Aquarius, Four of Cups. Moving on next, we do have the Empress, followed by the Three of Cups. Afterwards, we do have the Five of Cups. Is that even typical for Aquarius? The final one, oh, it's the Tower. I will be damned. Oh, you know what I would tell you guys? If that was, you came to me for reading, Yeah, have a great one, Pisces Moonbeam. Liz, thank you so much for your $20 US. Thank you, Liz. Make sure that you also stick around for a little bit longer up until the end, where you're gonna get a personalized reading for the full moon in Aquarius. Right, so again, what I would tell you if you were on a personal reading with me, and that were your personal cards. These are a general, but again, immediately, without even questioning it, you are about to end up neck deep in love. You may not believe it, but it is there. I mean, you may not believe it because how can I put it into words? You may have enough. You may think that you do had your fair share of it, right? Or at least I think I had it. It seems that I am wrong for what it seems to those cards. In any case, what the next 2.5 weeks are all about, it is that you are gonna have that let's say amazing, not just only rare, but a amazing opportunity to shift the gears, acquire what's have been missed, so to speak. Because that Tower card may looks a bit scary to you, right? Because you know, many readers are interpreting the Tower card like something bad is going to take place. The favorite word, oh my god, it's a transformation. How though, right? No one tells you how. Well, this is how it basically it rumbles you down. Aquarius ascending here as well, Victoria. So it rumbles you down. It basically it shakes down your understanding, at least in this particular case. Your understanding maybe that you are incapable to fall in love, or guess what? I mean, the universe has a it has a lesson to teach you, and you are. Now the good thing, 3 of Cups into the 3rd position, okay? It's gonna be shared. Bad thing that we, because I'm Aquarius rising as well, we may try to muffle it. Okay, we may try to suppress it, and that is clearly seen here into the Empress, into the 2nd position. Why, you may ask, why would I suppress that I'm falling in love? Oh, because this comfort that we are gonna feel, knowing that depends of a someone else, it's linked to something we don't have control upon, it's gonna terrify, it's gonna petrify us. Not just only terrify us, it's gonna petrify us. Now this is a very specific case, okay? In the grand scheme of things, as a general reading, it seems that next 2.5 weeks are weeks where you better believe that you know that you deserve more and you can do better. That is with your life in general. And if you don't believe, the universe is going to make you believe it. A hard way, that is. And by starting to believe that you can do better and you do deserve more, you will see how you can get more and how you can be better, and you will start getting better, Aquarius. Okay, so it's pretty clear. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be outside of your, again, comfort zone. It may feel unorthodox even at some points. And you may, one day you may look at yourself into the mirror within the next 2.5 weeks saying, who are you, right? I mean, who the hell are you? It's your new, or new you, so to speak. It is your new you, and it's gonna be so satisfying when things are working out, because even if it is about, especially if it is about a human interaction, in friendship, love, etc., it is gonna be shared without a doubt here. I mean, the vision, the sight, the way you think, the way the other one think, the way you the things you expect, It's going to be the same thing as the other person expect, and it's going to be weird for both of you. Okay, so maybe both of you lost hope that you're gonna end up being in love again. But I have news for you. It doesn't look like that we, okay, have a say. We don't. Sherry and Veronica, thank you so much for both of you, for your support, for the $20 US. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure you stick around a little bit longer, where you're gonna get your personalized reading for the transit full moon into Aquarius. Yeah, see, Ginger, that's exactly what I am talking about. Okay, you say it's impossible, but maybe the universe is about to prove you wrong. Pisces, last but not least. First one, Ace of Pentacles, followed by the Four of Wands. With the Two of Swords, something is falling the place it belongs. Sean, thank you so much for your $20 support. Thank you, Sean. Again, make sure that you do stick around a little bit longer, where you're going to get your personalized reading for the full moon into Aquarius. Right, so again, those three cards are for Aquarius. Something, and not for Aquarius, for Pisces. I'm sorry. Something is coming into its place, all right? For the show. Next one is going to be the Six of Cups and Six of Cups. And the final one, we do have the Nine of Wands. So what do I mean with that? Something is falling into its place. Well, it seems that there is some kind of a detail. Okay. Well, I don't want to give example with one of you guys, so I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible. So suddenly, a colleague you're working with is acting weird, okay, and you cannot put it through. You just can't figure it out. You don't know why. And it seems that into the next couple of weeks, should that be your case, it's going to be revealed. I mean, things are going to start making sense. You will understand what is the missing piece of the puzzle, so to speak, for what those cards are showing. And now, listen to this. Even though you had a negative experience, or rather like unpleasant experience, let's not put it negative experience, when things fall into their places and you now have the full picture, right? I mean, that's important details. Now it is revealed. That is going to give you a rare opportunity for you to further your goal, or so to speak, to further thy goal. Your goal could be that you want to surpass your colleague, or you want to be more successful than your colleague. Well, that's what you are going to have a chance to pursue and to establish. Your goal could be that you want to have a good relationship with the person you are with, but they are acting strange lately. You don't know why, and you're going to find out why, which is going to give you the leverage you need to make the relationship as comfortable as possible to yourself. That's literally how the full moon into Aquarius plays out for you. Don't try to rush the procedure though, or rather like the circumstances. When you have to act and when you have to make a choice, the time is going to become pretty much obvious to you. The only thing that you should be ready for or prepare for is to make certain they're not even changes, more like alignments and adaptations to the way you do stuff around and the way you interact with people as well. And that's all that there is here, Pisces. One last thing before I move into the last free reading here, it is that keep your eyes peeled, okay, because nobody may have caught your attention, but you definitely caught someone's attention. And when I mean someone's attention, I mean with interest. This person is interested into knowing you. Okay. So with that said, this concludes the 12 star signs. Now the last free reading is going to take place. Any one of you guys who wishes to have a free reading with me, all that you got to do is just input a question into the comments down below. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do so. And should there be no questions submitted that I can read tarot for, I'm going to move to the super chat. Anyone who supports the stream through super chat, you guys are going to get a reading at the end. That's pretty much given. And should your super chat be $20 or above, you're going to get that very same 5-card spread that I'm doing for the star signs. I don't even remember it now, Liz. That's a thing with the profession. I don't know if it's just me or that's very common, but when I do a reading, couple of minutes after I'm done with reading, I just don't remember it. Yeah, super chat is common. Oh. Yeah, very tired though. I think that I can sleep for about 20 hours. I'm definitely gonna do that. After we're done here and I finish a few readings I have, I'm definitely gonna transfer myself to the other world. I'm into the world of dreams. Couple of minutes, guys. If you do want a free reading and you do have a question that you want me to read for, now is the time to input it into the comments of the live stream. All right, so I want to address your question, Sean. Um, at least according to the Tarot philosophy, mate, there is no such thing as the one, because if you are meant to be happy, Sean, you are going to be, regardless whom with, where, how, and under what circumstances. Okay, it all depends on your preferences and the choices you make. And as the cards are not designed to make choices for you, they cannot actually make that choice. Is that the one or not? All they can say is the person that you are with compatible or not? But you can say that's pretty much right on the get-go. Just ask yourself, are you happy with that person? And if you are, then it is the one. Yeah, but at least for the time being. For you, Jasmine, I can only say what is the probability. Because again, that's a choice that you and Angelo have to make. But let's check on the probability here. So, Sean, are you happy? Those are your cards, Jasmine. Okay, here. Wow. Oh my god, what's going on? Yeah, what a spam. YouTube should do something about the spam. I mean, it should auto ban spammers, in my opinion. Basically. Yeah, hopefully we're done with the spammers. Oh my god, we aren't. Well, thing is, what these people don't understand is that this isn't an engagement that they are doing. So at the end of the day, whomever they are spamming, they are making them a favor. or whatever. All right, let's get to the super chat. Yeah, just ignoring Mo. Sean, if you do lover, then and that makes you happy, and by all means enjoy it, mate. Don't I would advise you don't overthink it, okay? Because at least in my opinion, that is overthinking it. It's oh yeah, what did the cards meant? I'm sorry, JT. Jasmine, I'm gonna address right now. So Sean, overthinking it is just gonna create a self-doubt. According to the cards I drew, Jasmine, it doesn't look like at least up until February next year for what it seems, and I don't believe that, at least looking at those cards. Yeah, Taco, we do have spammers, and I just Siba to kind of like ban them. They are creating engagement, so it's by all means it's something good for the channel, if not anything else. But in any case, Jasmine, I don't think that the thing it is that the longer the time passes, the more irrelevant for you is going to be getting back with that person. It's basically you are gonna find something more important for you to follow and to chase and so on and so forth. All right, back to the super chat. First one is going to be Ginger, then down floors, and afterwards I'm getting to the $20 super chat. Oh, Nancy, thank you so much for your $9.99 with super chat. You do wish a Lenormand reading, so I'm gonna address yours first then. Right, let me address yours first, because it's a Lenormand. First important thing, Nancy, from these cards, that is gonna be a news that is gonna come your way, okay? A news about that you made a good impression and that this impression is going to stick. I don't know if you do have any important meetings that you recently did or you are about to do, some kind of either a business meetings or some kind of a dates, for example, but you are going to make a really strong impression, and the way that you're going to hear about yourself and what kind of impression you did is going to be really something you would be glad to hear. And the second important thing that the future holds for you, it's those three cards, okay? And they're showing that some kind of a, well, could go a few ways. But definitely they're speaking about that the end of either A, problems, suffering, or a feeling of guilt is nigh, right? It's just in front of you and you have to gnash your teeth a little bit longer. Well, maybe you're gonna make a strong impression that is gonna stick, okay? At this restaurant. But yeah, I mean, some kind of a troubles you are sitting in front of, that their end is nigh, basically. Right, let's move to the Taro super chat now. Like I said, first one Ginger, and then down floors, and then it's the $20 super chat. You're welcome, Sean. All right, Ginger, your next 2.5 weeks here, we do have the Magician. So Ginger, for you is going to be quite of a, it's a stand, all right? It is where you do make a stand, not just only for yourself, but as well for what you, I would say, Ginger, for what you believe in. And in the next 2.5 weeks, there are gonna be things you kept into a silent treatment up until this point that you are going to pretty much divulge in front of those that needs to hear them. But other than that, also within this within the next 2.5 weeks, you are going to establish a quite solid actions, I would even say patterns, that are gonna bring you back on your feet. For down floors, how is my ear looking like? It is with down floors. It's asking. So we do have those two cards for you, down floors. Knights of Pentacles with the Five of Cups. It looks really well. It looks really good. It's gonna be a slow year though. What I mean is that things are not gonna happen in a rapid succession, you know, one thing after another and so on and so forth. But what is important for you to establish, at least according to these couple of cards down floors, is that you gotta establish a plan. All right, something that you don't have a plan about, you don't have any anticipation for, and you have no clue how it's going to work out. Most likely it's not going to work out at all, right? But the things that you do have a plan about and you do follow your plan, as long as you are not deviate from that plan itself, things are going to work out just fine with you. Now, one of your kind of like sub questions was about love, and if I have to kind of like even speculate from these couple of cards, it's about a jumping into the old branches of it. Okay, so you may expect someone that you do had any romantic intentions or interactions, or even an ex, to show up in your life again. All right, so let me shuffle now. Anna, you are next. Thank you, Selena. Have a great one as well. The first one for you, Anna, that is going to be the Strength, followed by the Four of Pentacles. Moving on, next we do have the Three of Pentacles, followed by the Chariot. And the final one for you, Anna, that is going to be the Three of Wands. So it's very important in the next 2.5 weeks, for according to those cards stands, is to be constantly on the move. What I mean is that you shouldn't settle on, let's say that way, already established patterns, but instead you should take on challenges. And primarily those challenges, I do believe they do involve other people as well, like the challenge of working in team. That's going to be a really, really good start for you. And for as far as your performance is concerned, for what those cards are showing is that whatever situations you are finding yourself into the next 2.5 weeks, you are always going to be able to find the correct attitude, okay, with clients, with friends, and pretty much and so on and so forth. Now, the danger of sitting on already established patterns, it is that you may consolidate yourself so hard that it's going to be very difficult afterwards to kind of like break through the bubble, so to speak. Okay, take it that way. Once, for example, in the friendship zone, always in the friendship zone. That's a general say when you put someone into the friendship zone. But in your case, for example, you know, once you do set your position with someone or with something, it is gonna stay that way. And that's why for the next 2.5 weeks you shouldn't make any final decisions or any, how can I put it into words, a conclusive actions, so to speak. But always you should have a second option, or like a backdoor, so to speak, where you can pretty much stir your situations. Other than that, Anna, what you're gonna find out in the next 2.5 weeks is that you are very, very capable. And I do believe that what you are gonna do is taking on a pretty significant challenge that you are gonna be very proud at the end when you conquer it, and you are going to conquer it. Next one that we do have, that is going to be Mattia. So give me a second here. All right, first one for you, Mattia, Knights of Pentacles, with the second one of the Two of Swords. Followed up next, we do have the Knights of Swords. Afterwards, that is going to be the Sun card. And then we do have the Six of Swords. Now, because I know your personal situation, well, I think I know your personal situation, but I know that you are quite busy lately, and I don't know if you are planning to be busy, but at least the universe, Mattia, is planning to keep you busy. Now, these cards have one giant message for you, really, and the message is that things are gonna go as planned, all right? Exactly as planned. And so if you are anticipating certain results in the next 2.5 weeks, those results are going to be definitely accomplished. Another thing what we can say from these cards, Mattia, it is that you are gonna get along with, I don't want to say someone, because it looks like more like a organization than anything else. right? So you're gonna get along with a business, with a client, or with a circle of society, so to speak. Why? Well, because you're gonna find a common cause that you are going to believe in, cause that they are going to believe in pretty much as well. And also next 2.5 weeks, what's your lesson is going to be, which is pretty huge for what I can say here. It is how to, or rather like more that you should surround yourself only with a people that your happiness is one of the most important things for them, and also their happiness is one of the most important things for you as well, because the lesson pretty much stands that you shouldn't be with someone, or rather like maintain a communication or relationship with someone that counts you for nothing, or rather like they are with you or communicate with you just only because they are happy, but for you they don't pretty much care. And that is gonna pretty much set you off on a path of growth. It's literally what those cards are saying, is that whatever you are planning, little by little, everything is gonna grow. So I hope your plans are big for the next 2.5 weeks. Next one, Ella. What is going on in my relationship with Claudio? I really feel like he is seeing someone else. Let's check it out. All right, Ella. Those are your cards. Okay. And I want to emphasize that they speak about your relationship with Claudio. All right. According to these cards, he isn't seeing anybody else. The problem with Claudio, and I don't know why, because they emphasize on the relationship, not on his problem. They're just showing his problem, not because why, or rather like, but not why he does have this problem. And it seems that he feels helpless for some reason. I don't know why, but he feels helpless, and that's why, according to these cards, the very least, he is acting very, very strange. Now, if I have to estimate when this is about to change, because it's going to change, I do believe that last time also they showed that he wasn't seeing anyone else as well. So the estimation, September, October, the end of November, things should get better at the end of November. In between you and Claudio as well. As an advice, give him space. All right, next one, Taco. You're welcome, Ella. I thank you for your support. All right, Taco. First one for you, mate. The Emperor, followed by the second one of the Five of Cups. I already know what to tell you from those two, but still. Page of Swords. Then it is the Queen of Wands. And the final one for you, Taco, the Empress. Pretty clear message, because that is how your inquiry was worded. What is the most important message that the full moon in Aquarius does want me to know? Don't doubt yourself, okay? For what those cards are showing, it is that within the next 2.5 weeks, you are pretty much going to set your things in order. What I mean is that you are going to establish control, right? But that is only if you do not doubt yourself, not for a second. So you can expect that how things are going to turn out, it is that the difficult aspects of what you are going through are going to become less difficult, and the good aspects that you are basically bound to experience, they will become more telegraphed. What I mean is that you will be able to telegraph them in a way you want to telegraph them, so to speak. But also another big thing about these cards that we do have here, it is that you should honor, for the lack of better words, your personal time and use it as it is meant to be used, as a personal time. Okay. And last thing from these cards, Taco, it is that I don't know if that means anything to you, but what they say, it is that your understanding of the situations you are in, and especially the people you are dealing with, whether on the friendship front, on the intimate front, or on the professional front, it's accurate. You see someone and you say that person is weak into that and strong into this, that's correct. That's right. You will learn how to trust your reading into people and into situations as well. But it's a fantastic couple of weeks, Taco, of business. So if you are having any business plans, they should go very, not just only smooth, they should go and end up being quite successful. Right, next one, Jasmine. All right, first one for you, Jasmine, Two of Wands. With the Six of Cups. Moving on next, we do have the Two of Pentacles, followed by the Three of Swords. And the final one for you, Jasmine, that is going to be the Ace of Swords. I would need a minute here. Taco, I don't believe it's an intuition, mate. It's more of a experience that's it's actually doing that. But you feel free to believe in what you want. I'm just saying what the cards are showing. They have nothing to do with intuition. What you do, or what they are manifesting, it's an experience that is gonna show up and actually is gonna make you and help you read people. So Jasmine, your reading is a little bit all over the place. As a advice for what those cards are showing, it is that you should refrain yourself from having too many things on your plate. Okay, that is because those cards are showing that you are establishing some kind of an accomplishments, which are a good accomplishments. You may not see them that way, but nonetheless, for Taro, they are considered being good accomplishments. And it's going to be a shame if you do split your attention into other things rather than building up on top of these accomplishments. So long story short here, Jasmine, if your job is going great, keep on pressing on that job, keep on hammering on that job until you improve it even further. If your love life is doing great, same thing, keep on pressing on that love life rather than trying to change your love life in any way. If you do have only one thing going on for you, well, then your choice is pretty simple here. But other than that, that's pretty much the grand message. Other thing that is going to happen for you into the next 2.5 weeks, it is that there will be some kind of an information coming your way. It will be, I can't say unexpected, but it's going to be a eye-opening information. And once it comes, you're pretty much going to have, I would say, accurate diagnosis over the situations that you are sitting on, and you're definitely gonna know what you have to and what you gotta do afterwards in order to push forward, so things can turn out beneficial for your well-being. Although the information itself is gonna be a little bit harder to swallow than usual. And finally, there will be some, so to speak, dirty work, or rather like that you have to make your hands dirty. And when I say that, I mean that there are going to be some aspects of the enterprises that you will have to handle in the next 2.5 weeks that you are not going to enjoy, right? But you are going to recognize that is something that needs to be handled, right? That is something that you got to deal with if you want to get to the sweet part, to the juicy part of the whole enterprises. But suffice to say here, Jasmine, keep doing what you're doing, because you are doing great, at least according to these cards, and you should definitely build on top of it. All right, next one, we do have Liz. Hello, Belinda. Welcome to the stream. All right, Liz. 4 of Wands for you with the 3 of Swords. Afterwards, we do have the Knights of Pentacles. Moving on next, the 7 of Swords. And our final one, that's going to be the Lovers. That's that will be a bit of a... You're welcome, Jasmine. That's going to be a bit of a conjecture, I believe is how you call it. That is because you get to choose how to use something. So what happens for you, at least into the next 2.5 weeks, it is that you are going to reach a milestone. And the question that is going to sit in front of you, it is what to do of it. Okay, what to do of that important completion of a cycle, and how to play your cards afterwards. Now, unfortunately, those cards are not giving you much of an advice. They're only saying that there will be no right or wrong path. All comes to that, you know, what you can handle and what you can live with afterwards. Because for you is one of the toughest lessons, or it comes up one of the toughest lessons. And that is that no matter how much one tries, one can never have everything. Things compensates in the universe, and yeah, you may think you have everything material, but that undermines you spiritually, for example. But in any case, here the advice of the cards, it is to keep things simple. Okay, if things are way too complicated, way too much variables are into the equation of how you are to proceed, then that's not the ideal choice for you of a moving forward. Just to give you an idea how things may play out for you, Liz, it is that, for example, you may be nominated for a promotion, which is a milestone, and you got to think of what you are going to do with that. Okay, because the nomination is one thing, accepting it is another, and so on and so forth. Now you're going to play, and it's all within your hands. What is granted according to these cards is that you're going to reach that completion. What you're going to do with that completion, that comes entirely up to you. The only unpleasant stuff that I can see into those cards for you, Liz, it is that you may tend to overthink this completion and this milestone, so to speak. And even in some extreme cases, I don't know if you are prone to that, but you may start kind of like trying to convince yourself that you do not deserve it, which is going to be a bullshit if you ask me, because you do deserve it. That is according to these cards, and if you ask me, you should take full advantage of it. But again, at the end of the day, the choice, it's entirely yours. But suffice to say, Liz, something you worked very hard for is coming to a fruition, and you have to make up your mind what you are going to do with those fruits. Next one, Sherry. So, if you are around, Liz, what you have worked for very hard in the near future. You're welcome, Liz. Sherry, Page of Cups for you. Are you pregnant? With the Knight of Cups, followed by the Three of Wands. That's just a possibility. I'm just asking. Three of Pentacles, with the Nine of Wands for you, Sherry. So, if you are not pregnant, okay, what those cards are speaking about, it is some kind of change which is looming on the horizon for you, which change, that is going to be like a fresh wind that comes in your life. That's not going to be a change in your life, but it will be something additionally, okay, that comes in, which you are going to relate to emotionally. Okay, so pretty much this new addition that comes into your life, you will gonna want it. And this is why, by the way, the Page of Cups, it's considered as a pregnancy, because it's a kind of an addition to your life that changes your life, but not exactly, okay? But you pretty much, you are bound to be emotionally connected to it. But what is a good thing about those cards, Sherry? It is that usual things which are annoying you and which you don't like in your partner or in your job or into your social circle, they're not gonna be that relevant anymore, at least not for the next 2.5 weeks, because you are going to be more focused, or at least the situations that you're finding yourself into are going to make you more focused on the bigger picture, okay, on the overview, rather than to the irritating details, so to speak, which will allow you to get past things, which will allow you to pretty much figure out how to solve problems rather than to be stuck into problems. And what's truly gonna happen, or kind of like what kind of a potential you do have, is to establish certain patterns in your love life or into your career, okay, or into in generally the life you are leading. And also another thing which is totally optional, but if I were at your shoes, I would have definitely do it, and that is to lift the bar of your personal expectations. What you're expecting of yourself, lift the bar of. You are expecting that that month, you know, you are gonna do good or excellent at work, while you better expect to do immaculate, because you can. Thing it is that you know, when one establish patterns, before one knows it, it kind of ends up being in a magic circle, doing the same thing over and over again, right? Well, you have the opportunity here into the next 2.5 weeks to break off that magic circle, or at least make it a bigger. But that can only happen if you do challenge yourself to demand and expect more from yourself than what you are currently doing, whether into your career or whether into your romantic life as well. And what I really love about your reading, it is I don't know if you are such a person, but you will allow yourself to be weak in front of those that you need to be weak in front of. I don't know how to explain it, but for example, if you do need support, or if support is what's gonna help you, it doesn't next 2.5 weeks you're gonna learn to accept that support without losing your dignity, self-respect, and so on and so forth. And on top of that, Sherry, also it seems that you are going to start little by little opening up for some kind of a fruitful discussions, and as well considering cooperations. Primarily they are going to relate mostly to your career or the plans for your career that you do have. The universe pretty much is gonna help you to settle yourself. No matter what happens, you are always gonna find yourself being prepared. All right, next one, Victoria, your reading is coming. All right, Victoria, first card of yours, Ten of Wands, followed by the second card, which is the Star card. Afterwards, that is going to be the Moon, followed by the Six of Swords. And the final one for you, Victoria, that is going to be Judgment. It's pretty simple message for you, Vicky, and that is that you are going to be bound to live up to your word, for what it seems, or to live up to what you have promised, or what kind of a I don't know how to put it into English, but what kind of a impression you made. Okay, so just to give you an example, let's say you are in a job interview, right, recently, and you polished yourself. You said that you can, yeah, they can hire you to be an associate, but you can do also this, you can do also that, and so on and so forth. Well, they're gonna hold you to your word. They will ask you to do everything you said with no compromises whatsoever. So I really, really hope that recently you haven't promised anything that you are unsure that you can keep up to, right? Or you haven't involved yourself in a situation that you are not prepared to keep up with, because there will be no slack. Nobody's gonna cut you slack into the next 2.5 weeks. Now, on the bright side, Vicky, all of the rewards are gonna worth it. Basically, yeah, the whole situations that you're going to be involved into, whether into your career or into your love life, they're going to be very, very demanding, but also there will be an amazing rewards at the end of these parts. Now, there will be aspects that you are not going to consider being something you would do twice. That is because these aspects of those situations that you are involving yourself into the next 2.5 weeks are going to go against your principles. So it's not going to be something nefarious. It's not going to be something bad by all means. It's going to be something you don't believe in, but you signed up for it and you got to do it. And that is something you will learn as well, that you never should sign up for something you do not make your homework for. Another thing though, that is and that is more like a general direction that you should strive for here according to these cards, Vicky. It is that if you are feeling insecure, or rather like uncertain emotionally, you are not feeling stable about the thing. So for example, someone tells you, hey, do you want to work with me over that, right? And you don't know how you feel about it. Well, that's exactly the thing that you should do. Okay, it is just that should be your guide, at least according to these cards. If you don't know how you feel, you are emotional, which I call being emotionally unstable about something, it's your cue that that is the right path for you. That is within the cards. By all means, at the end of the day, you do whatever you think it's best for you. But literally these next 2.5 weeks, alongside with all the demanding situations that you're going to be a part of into your career and into your love life as well, the universe is going to send you calls, and those calls are something that you should answer, and that's how you're going to recognize those calls, that you feel fuzzy about what you have been offered or about how the circumstances are setting themselves up. And finally, Sean, your turn. All right, Sean, Eight of Wands for you, followed by thank you, Vicky. Well, that is not so well, I guess it's something you definitely signed up for because you choose to be with that person. But yeah, in the narration of this situation of yours, with the Ten of Wands being the environment, that means that you should, can I put it into words, keep up with the demand of the treatment. You shouldn't cut any slack to your domestic partner, not to yourself as well. And unfortunately, you cannot bypass as well putting up with your domestic partner in a way of that in their crisis. It is just something you have to deal with. You cannot escape from it. That's pretty much how the Ten of Swords plays out into your situation. Again, back to Sean. Four of Swords, it is the second one, followed with the Emperor for you, Sean, which is the third one. Then we do have the Three of Swords. And the final one, that is going to be the Two of Swords. Do you have any, answer me that, Sean, do you have any important business endeavors that you have planned for the next 2.5 weeks? I will wait for a couple of minutes for you to answer me because it's important to know what your situation is right now, because these cards could be very, very specific. All right. Maybe you're not around, or you don't want to answer that. In any case, Sean, is how it stands. If you do have any important business endeavors, you cannot afford to show weakness into the business. According to these cards, any weakness you show is going to be exploited, you better believe it. But also you must have the confidence that you can present yourself being rock solid. So the key here, Sean, is to show that you can set your hand on everything, you know. It's an important project, no worries, I can handle all of it, all right, or what I am signing myself up for it. And the thing it is that when you present yourself, at least from the get-go, you're gonna make such a strong impression throughout the next 2.5 weeks that people are gonna trust you, people are gonna find you reliable. And that's why you gotta present yourself strong, so you do not betray this. I can't really say trust, more like an impression. But in terms of your career, if you do have any career right now, next 2.5 weeks are gonna be very intense. Not even demanding, they're gonna be intense, because it's gonna be expected from you to be a person on your place, or rather like the person for the job. You have problems, you call Sean, all right? That is how people are gonna treat you in your work environment into the next 2.5 weeks, and you have to live up to it, at least according to these cards. Now, on the negative side, for what those cards are showing, it doesn't look like that you will find more qualified than you, whether into your social circle or whether into your career as well. So pretty much you can't expect to, how can I put it into words, to find any help. Or I don't mean a physical help, more like a guidance, more like advice. Let's say that you are a lawyer and you do have that conundrum that you have to deal with, and you hope that a buddy from another law firm will be able to help you because they may have dealt with such kind of a conundrum before. You ask them and they say, no man, I never had that case, such a case before. And it's something you have to face on the get-go, and something that you have to deal with by yourself. That is the negative side of your full moon into Aquarius. Other than that, it's quite a dynamic environment. There will be a variety, or rather, like I should say, versatility. So the very least, Sean, you ain't gonna get bored in your private life, in your social circle, and as well into career. And another thing which is beautiful about your reading is that you are never gonna feel pressured in the next 2.5 weeks. It is like it will feel that you do have all the time in the world to think about your choice, think about your action, think about your move, and wherever you do have your dilemma, what you should do, there will be always the hint which is better than which is worse as well. And the only thing, once again, that's your situations are expecting from you is to be, or at least to behave like the man for the job. Let's say your wife asks you, I don't know, or tells you, you know what, I wanna renovate our kitchen. I am the man for the job, right? I'm full into it. That is just for example, right? And you handle it pretty much. You can't ask your neighbor how you should renovate your kitchen, right? But you handle it basically. So you are going to be relied upon. That is what I am trying to say here. And it will be impossible for you to trust, to transfer that reliance into someone else, or to find a a better way to handle it than the way you already know. But the way you already know, it is the way that is going to help you establish control. Not just only control, but it's domination, dominance, so to speak, over these situations. And at the end of the day, people are going to be not just only surprised, but also freaking amazed of how you handled yourself, and as well the conundrums that you are gonna stand in front of. And that is pretty much what those cards are showing. As far as the lesson that you need to learn, Sean, for the next 2.5 weeks, it is that, you know, sometimes you may think less of yourself, but you don't have the choice to believe it. And you gotta believe that what is in front of you, it may look a little bit of overwhelming, that is to say the least, but you don't have a choice but to face it, because it's something you rely on. Simple as that. So that's gonna do it, guys, for tonight, for the full moon in Aquarius. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much as well for your support, and as well for your generosity. And we are gonna see each other next time, which I don't want to promise anything, but it's gonna be about Sunday, maybe Monday as well. Is going to be announced. I don't know the topic as well. It could be weekly or something else. We're going to see about it. But again, thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for your support, and again for your generosity. And we're going to see each other next time. Until then, bye.